So the situation is pretty shit. There was a suspected Ebola death 10 kilometers from here last night.
I'm not sure if I've ever been so scared in my whole life.
Had the patient been here?
I just remember fear paralyzing my whole body. Because the world's deadliest virus was here.
It's so close.
I don't know what to do.
Friends, we are Joe and Liisu. And in the previous episode you saw why we decided to move into a tiny village in Ugandan mountains.
We have a 2-person bed. We have a window.
And how we started working as volunteers in a small community clinic that offers medical services to people that otherwise may never in their lives see a doctor.
This community that lives on less than $1 a day. In fact, most of them live on less than $1 a week.
Yet, as I promised last time, in this video, we will show you what working and saving lives in Africa actually looks like.
Scaring babies.
This is called saving lives.
Well, and of course, we will also share with you one of the scariest moments of our lives.
The chances of winning with Russian roulette are just many times higher than the chances of winning with Ebola.
Our days in Zion Community Clinic usually started around 8 in the morning.
We're incredibly blessed that the people here are taking such good care of us. We get 3 meals a day, and this is like probably the most common meal.
Good.
It's made out of fresh green stuff outside, and yeah, with rice it works very well.
And by 10, just like in many other hospitals all around the world, there would be people in our waiting room.
You see unfamiliar faces sitting here, then you know that there are probably patients waiting to get into the room.
One by one, they would be called into the office and taken care of by our doctors.
Have a seat.
On the patient chair.
So, what seems to be the problem?
My boyfriend is an idiot.
What could we do against it? Antibiotics, I think.
At times, there was also patients who would need to stay for the night.
Pretty much after dark, a patient came in, and now everybody is doing their best to make him better.
And of course, being a doctor here often meant doing at least 3 jobs at once.
And then the fun part is when I was doing like patient appointments, I had to be the nurse, then I had to be the lab tech, then the doctor as well. So you did all the jobs that you could do. Played with urine more than I would have liked, but it's all part of the job.
But unlike most medical facilities, the services here were completely free for the patients. You see, as most people in this community live on less than $1 a day, they simply don't have the means for even the cheapest drugs and procedures.
When in Europe people go to the pharmacy and buy their own paracetamol and ibuprofen, then here we have to give everything from our pharmacy here.
Yeah, and it's a huge problem getting them here as well, because like you're supposed to get them from a government hospital or a pharmacy, but they are always out over there, and like getting the proper drugs is one of the biggest challenges here in a small village.
In fact, even the permanent staff who works here does it as volunteers.
It relies on the voluntary hearts that are able to passionately give out their skills and knowledge.
He works in a government hospital to pretty much fund this project. He spends all of his waking hours running from here and there to give opportunities to the ones who are less privileged. Thank you for doing what you do.
Yes, it would definitely be better for the workers if they were actually compensated. But at the same time, I think I've never been a part of a team that is so full of loving and caring individuals. All of them were here simply because they wanted to help. And this in turn created a truly wonderful working environment. As you can probably guess, being a doctor in Uganda was a dream come true for Liisu.
All in all, like, it's very interesting working when you don't have a lot of resources. You just have your hands and your head.
For years, medicine has been her passion, and being able to see and fight the tropical diseases gave her more joy than perhaps was morally right.
I got my first malaria.
You know, you shouldn't be dancing when you just diagnosed malaria.
But it's very beneficial for the next one, because then I'm already gonna be like, always think of malaria.
The time in the clinic went by quickly. Yet only after a few days of working, we started hearing some troubling news.
It's currently Monday, like our first day here in the clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And we just heard some troubling news. They found Ebola.
Yeah, they had a case in Kampala, the capital of Uganda, and it was a man who died with Ebola symptoms, and then they tested it, and it's a confirmed case of Sudan strain of Ebola, which is like 40-50% deadly.
Yeah, this patient, he also came to a city like 40 kilometers away from us, like 1.5 hours through village roads.
Yeah, Mbale. But we have decided that we're gonna wait and see how it goes, because now the cases are in Kampala. There's not that many yet, but we're like checking the news every day to see what it does, and then decide based on that if it spreads, if there's gonna be lockdowns or anything. We're gonna make new decisions based on that.
With news and ideas like this, it's very nice to go to sleep. See you tomorrow, guys.
Despite the troubling news, we tried to stay positive, and soon found out that what happens here in the main office is only a fraction of how the clinic helps the thousands of people who live in those mountains.
Today we are doing an outreach, which means that we're packing our things and heading to a nearby village center.
An outreach pretty much means that on certain days, most of the stuff that we have here in Zion packs up a bag and leaves for an important mission.
And we're heading off. We're leaving our little clinic behind and heading somewhere. I actually don't know where.
Sometimes it means visiting patients who are too old or sick to leave their homes by themselves. On other times, it can include small lectures to educate the surrounding families about topics that for most of us might seem like common knowledge. But the outreaches that we took part in held even more importance. You see, in those days, we would hike quite long distances to visit nearby village centers.
It's like a third time we rest, and it's a heck of a challenge, getting from place to place on the mountains. Whew.
Well, of course, using the loudspeaker to let everybody know that we were there. And once we arrived, the work would begin.
We made it. This is where we will set up camp, and that has to be one of the most chaotic vaccination points in the world. We have a cow here, a sheep there, and then a little desk over there where we're getting the documents ready, getting the vaccines ready, and the ladies are already here with their yes, the ladies are already there with their children, and yeah, we're gonna form a little line and try to get everybody sorted out.
Yes, it definitely took me a while before I got used to this role.
Personally, I have sort of a imposter syndrome. Like, I'm no doctor, I have known nothing about vaccinations. I'm here And yeah, but it's mostly me, because everybody trusts me and everybody appreciates every piece of help that they're getting. No teeth, right?
Throughout such days, we would see somewhere between 1 and 200 kids.
And all sorts of polio vaccines, tetanus, diphtheria, you know, all the things that you get at home as well. There's some extras that we don't get at home. For example, malaria we don't have. And yellow fever, usually people in Europe only get when they go for a vacation.
Such organizations like our clinic are very essential to stop those diseases.
Zahara and Liisu did the heavy lifting and were the ones who gave out the actual vaccinations.
Diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, going into the other leg.
Nina and Martha took care of the paperwork. And well, for some reason, I always had the job of a candyman.
I promise it's not candy.
Well, actually I was giving out vitamins.
Perfect. Good job.
And something called a dewormer, which was a tablet that pretty much cleans your system from parasites.
And therefore, this area, the people that are located here are underprivileged. That's why we have cases of malnutrition in children. They are not able to grow up properly. They cannot even study well in schools because they face problems with having sufficient nutrients.
And believe it or not, putting those measures together with the vaccines has significantly lowered the child mortality rates in this region.
You already got one. You have one. One. Just one is enough. Today at the vaccination we also have a newborn. She's like 5 days old, so she's getting all the vaccines that you're supposed to get at birth.
Yes, working in direct equatorial sun
Almost 4.5 hours we've been here.
and somewhat questionable conditions definitely wasn't easy. But at the same time, it felt amazing to do a job that truly made a difference. Strange to think that this groundwork that we were doing was actually saving lives.
Scaring babies.
This is called saving lives.
Bye bye.
With every passing day, our connection to this community grew stronger.
How are you? Murembe. Good, good.
We heard from Peter, the clinic's director, what sort of impact all of this work was having.
We have a population of over 5,000 people that we offer services to, and they need us. That means we have limited human resource. We need more people, we need more support, we need more funds in order to help these communities. Thank you.
And I could even say that we slowly started to feel as part of the family.
The atmosphere and kindness of the people who volunteer and live here at the clinic, it's hard to match. Like every person we've met here has been amazing.
It really felt like we were part of something that is making a difference in the world.
Cheers! Good job!
Yet on one morning, exactly a week from the day that we started, a health official from the capital city came to our little clinic.
We just had a visit from a health official, and they went around. They were asking if we had any cases that could fit Ebola, and then they said that last night there was a death 10 kilometers from here with fever and bleeding from everywhere, which fits pretty well of Ebola symptoms.
I don't remember for how long I stayed like this, in the state of disbelief. But I do remember that fear and panic took over my body.
Had the patient been here?
No, 10 kilometers.
I felt paralyzed.
like another village, like the nearby village.
What the heck?
And suddenly, our brains were racing at 100 miles an hour.
It's so close.
It starts with high fever, right?
I'm not sure what we're supposed to do.
What if we already contacted the virus on one of our outreaches?
I'm just extremely scared because I literally came in contact with the bodily fluids of 50 kids over the last 2 days, probably more.
What if the whole situation turns into another pandemic?
During the last outbreaks, there was a lot of help from America. With President Trump being in power, he's cut off all funding, so the senior staff has been called off from the country. They've left a couple of days ago.
We remember too clearly how countries one after another started closing their borders.
What truly pisses me off is that the public doesn't have this information. We've been reading the web pages of World Health Organization, the news outlets of Uganda.
As was said, that some of the information just does not reach the international databases, and it doesn't reach the international news.
And they're telling that there's one case and it's under control, but they're not showing the real statistics.
And I don't even want to think about the darkest thoughts that we had.
Yeah, when you get Ebola, Russian roulette is good. Russian roulette is 6 in 1. Ebola is 2 in 1. Russian roulette seems like a good option if you contact Ebola.
For many hours, we went over every possible scenario.
And I'm afraid to tell my parents. Like, I don't want to make them worried.
Same.
Holy mother of...
And all of a sudden, a deep sense of shame took over our body. We knew exactly what we needed to do. But how do you tell your friends that you are leaving them behind?
Hey, how are you?
We are fine, how are you?
I'm okay. Yeah.
Been resting?
I heard the news that the health officials said and just...
That what?
that there was a case 10 kilometers away from here.
We felt like cowards, and letting everyone know about our decision was heartbreaking.
They are talking about it, that place.
Back there?
Yeah, there. But now we don't know. But that's the name of the place which they talked about.
Yeah.
But still, with the first light on the following day, we had to let go of our grand ideas to save lives in Africa.
These are our last moments at the clinic. You can probably hear laughter from inside. We just had breakfast together for the last time, and it's truly sad to go. But we have to.
With heavy hearts, we said our goodbyes
It's another sad moment.
and left the clinic behind.
Bye!
And then, in the cold morning breeze, we made our way to the border with Kenya. Friends, it's now been a little over a week since we left the clinic behind, and I'm not gonna lie, for the first few days, we were really having trouble accepting our own decision, especially after hearing that this suspected case, it luckily was not Ebola. Yet after few more days have passed, we've sort of realized that helping this community was never about physically being there. Yes, without a doubt it felt good to help. It felt good to see the fruits of our labor. But what actually matters most to Zion Community Clinic is the attention of the outside world. On the morning that we left Zion, we decided to do everything that is in our power to support the operation of this clinic.
Thank you so much. Thank you for doing what you do. You're doing God's work.
are held accountable. You can even always come back and you see how the progress that we have made.
Yeah.
We shall also update you on how we have used the funds, and I want to say that it's always put to good use.
And as the last thing in this video, I just want to say that if you are also in a position to help, then make sure to check out the description of this video, because in my opinion, it really is one of those places where every dollar has a truly noticeable impact. Friends, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time from Kenya. Take care and bye.